All right, folks, here we go. As always, I'll start off by checking answers for the previous lesson. All of you turn this into me, hopefully, before midnight. If you're ever wondering if I received your email, I will always, for every homework assignment, send you an email back letting you know, hey, the homework looks good, hey, the homework's fine, maybe it's missing a couple questions. I've told some of you that it's blurry and I can't see your pictures that you're sending me. But every single email, I will let you know what the score is. And for the most part, all of you are receiving 5 out of 5s, unless they're late. If you're doing your homework, you're in good shape, just as long as you're doing the homework. So keep getting this to me. Here are the answers. Check them. And today's actually a really big lesson. It's a big lesson to get you ready for Wednesday because, hey, on Wednesday, we are taking a quiz over everything that you've taught, everything that you've been taught in Chapter 10. So, before we start the lesson, I want to be just very, very clear with you and up front. I'm about to teach the very last lesson of this chapter. So, 10.7, it's below this piece of paper. I'm going to teach that lesson before you today. For homework, it's going to be the review guide. When I give you the homework assignment, it's not from lesson 10.7. I go straight to the review guide, and the reason why I'm doing this is because I've looked at how many days I have left in this class, and with all the days that we've missed, I have to go a little quicker. So today we're giving you the review guide, and it's going to be due on Wednesday. Do not submit it to me by midnight. If you want to, I suppose you can. If you want to get it to me tomorrow, which is Tuesday, that's fine. But it's due on Wednesday. As always, I'm going to have it due on midnight. Before midnight, excuse me. And last but not least, Chapter 10 quiz is tomorrow. Or is Wednesday. It says Wednesday right there. I wish I knew how to read. Chapter 10 quiz is on Wednesday. You're going to turn your review guides in then. This is going to be kind of a tough one. I do need every single one of you to submit your notes. Take a picture of 10.1, 10.2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and these notes that you're going to take today, 10.7. And it's going to be a lot of pictures. Try to get organized. This is going to test you a little bit to see if you're technologically savvy. Get all those pictures together and send it to an email, or send it to my email. I'll put my email at the end of these notes. Most of you already know. It's bkosal@union.k12.in.us. All right. Without further ado, let's get started, folks. It's a big lesson. It's the very last lesson in the chapter. I want to do this right. Let's get started. 10.7. I'm going to title this More Circle Theorems. We're finishing out chapter 10 with more circle theorems. Okay, I got a couple for you today. Not too many, but as you can see in the notes, there are more circle theorems. Start off by cutting your notes in half. We're going to put a familiar theorem on the left-hand side, then we're going to put a new theorem over here. But on the left, this is a familiar one. Let's revisit the crisscross theorem. This should be pretty new to you. This should still be in your memory. It's a theorem from 10.6, the lesson right before this one, that we just graded up here. You did a couple crisscross theorem questions in your homework for 10.6. But the crisscross theorem, just to make sure that you're not confused, here are my notes from 10.6 if you remember the crisscross theorem. Basically, this angle is going to equal these two added together and divide by 2. If you add these two angles, I threw numbers in there, 110 and 50, cut it in half, you're going to equal this angle on the inside. All right, draw a circle. Let's do the crisscross theorem. Whoosh, whoosh. And let's put X right here. I think I used numbers. And we need to work with these arcs. So this arc right here, and that arc right there. Let's call this A. Let's call this B. Now I'm using X's, A's, and B's. Notice how when I taught the crisscross theorem, I did not use x's and a's and b's, but I don't want you to get this confused with the theorems that I gave you towards the end of my notes on 10.6. Does everybody remember the 1/2 big guy minus the little guy? It works with two secants, works with a secant and a tangent, and it also works with two tangents. Every single one of these works with x's, a's, and b's. And notice how it's 1/2 the big guy, A, minus the little guy, B, on every single one of these. Please, 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 even though I'm working with the same variables, x's and a's and b's, this is not 1/2 the big guy minus the little guy. It's a crisscross theorem. That angle is going to be 1/2 of those two arcs added together. Added together. We're adding them together. The crisscross theorem is the only one where you're adding. I'll just put a, that's huge. Oh, that's huge, that plus sign. Alright, that's the crisscross theorem. New theorem for today. Very similar to the crisscross theorem. Let's do a crisscross. Whoosh. Whoosh. Extremely similar. But instead of working with angle arcs and angle measures, I'd like you to work with these segment pieces. Let's call this A. Let's call this B. So A is the distance from here to here. B is this little chunk from here to here. Let's call that C. Let's call that D. Now, folks, if you want an easy theorem, if you want to start this lesson with a really easy theorem, oh boy, oh girl, oh yeah, I got an easy theorem for you. Ready? A times B equals. I wonder if anybody can finish this theorem. Let me remind you, it's easy. This times that is going to equal C times D. There's the theorem, folks. That times that equals that times that. Is it the crisscross theorem? No, it's not. This is the crisscross theorem. This one is, well, it's just kind of looks like the crisscross theorem. This is what we're learning today. Let me give you a couple examples of that. Example 1. Find x. Find the 24th letter in the alphabet. A. Whoosh. Whoosh. Here's your crisscross. Let's call that 12. And that's 9. And let's do 8. And there's your x. Solve for x, folks. Use the theorem that I just showed you on the previous page and attack it. That and that. Notice how the A and the B are in the exact same line segment. A times B is going to equal C times D. Alright, so with that being said, how about, I don't know, 12 times 9, because those are both in the same. 12 times 9 equals 8 times x. Good. Pretty simple. 12 times 9 is, I believe it's 108, equals 8x. And then divide both sides by 8. X equals, does it work? No, doesn't work. What is that? I don't have my calculator on me, folks. Well, if I don't have a calculator, that's okay. I'm just going to divide top and bottom by 2. 54 over 4. Divide by 2 again. Sorry, no calculator. You're probably sitting there twiddling your thumbs waiting for me. 27 over 2. What is that, 13 and a half? Is that what you got in your calculator? Perfect. Awesome. 13.5. 13.5. Let's do another one. Circle. Bzz, bzz. Let's throw some variables in the mix, shall we? Let's say this is x plus 4. And we'll say that's x plus 2. We'll say that little piece right there is x. And this will be 3x plus 6.